An Internet forum, or message board, is an online discussion site where people can hold conversations in the form of posted messages. They differ from chat rooms in that messages are often longer than one line of text, and are at least temporarily archived. Also, depending on the access level of a user of the forum setup, a posted message might need to be approved by a moderator before it becomes visible. Forums have a specific set of jargon associated with them, e.g., a single conversation is called a thread or topic. A discussion forum is hierarchical or tree-like in structure. A forum can contain a number of sub-forums, each of which may have several topics. Within a forum's topic, each new discussion started is called a thread, and can be replied to by as many people as so wish. Depending on the forum settings, users can be anonymous or have to register with the forum and then subsequently log in order to post messages. On most forums, users do not have to log in to read existing messages. History. The modern forum originated from bulletin boards, and so-called computer conferencing systems, and are a technological evolution of the dial-up bulletin board system. From a technological standpoint, forums are boards or web applications managing user-generated content. Early Internet forums could be described as a web version of an electronic mailing list or newsgroup, allowing people to post messages and comment on other messages. Later developments emulated the different newsgroups or individual lists, providing more than one forum dedicated to a particular topic. Internet forums are prevalent in several developed countries. Japan posts the most, with over 2 million per day on the largest forum, 2channel. China also has many millions of posts on forums such as Tianya Club. Some of the very first forum systems were the Planet Forum system, developed in the beginning of the 1970s, the EIES system, first operational in 1976, and the KOM system, first operational in 1977. One of the first forum sites, and still active today, is Delphi Forums, once called Delphi. The service, with 4 million members, dates to 1983. Forums perform a function similar to that of dial-up bulletin board systems and Usenet networks that were first created starting in the late 1970s. Early web-based forums date back as far as 1994, with the WIT project from W3 Consortium, and starting from this time, many alternatives were created. A sense of virtual community often develops around forums that have regular users. Technology, video games, sports, music, fashion, religion, and politics are popular areas for forum themes, but there are forums for a huge number of topics. Internet slang and image macros popular across the Internet are abundant and widely used in Internet forums. Forum software packages are widely available on the Internet and are written in a variety of programming languages, such as PHP, Perl, Java and ASP. The configuration and records of posts can be stored in text files or in a database. Each package offers different features, from the most basic, providing text-only postings, to more advanced packages, offering multimedia support and formatting code. Many packages can be integrated easily into an existing website to allow visitors to post comments on articles. Several other web applications, such as weblog software, also incorporate forum features. WordPress comments at the bottom of a blog post allow for a single-threaded discussion of any given blog post. Code, on the other hand, is far more complicated, allowing fully threaded discussions and incorporating a robust moderation and meta-moderation system, as well as many of the profile features available to forum users. Some standalone threads on forums have reached fame and notability, such as the "I am lonely, will anyone speak to me" thread on Movie Codec. Com's Forums, which was described as the web's top hangout for lonely folk by Wired magazine. Structure. A forum consists of a tree-like directory structure. The top end is categories. A forum can be divided into categories for the relevant discussions. Under the categories are subforums, and these subforums can further have more subforums. The topics come under the lowest level of subforums, and these are the places under which members can start the discussions or posts. Logically, forums are organized into a finite set of generic topics driven and updated by a group known as members, and governed by a group known as moderators. It can also have a graph structure. All message boards will use one of three possible display formats. Each of the three basic message board display formats, non-threaded, semi-threaded, fully threaded, has its own advantages and disadvantages. If messages are not related to one another at all, a non-threaded format is best. If a user has a message topic and multiple replies to that message topic, a semi-threaded format is best. If a user has a message topic and replies to that message topic, and replies to replies, then a fully threaded format is best. User groups. Internally, Western-style forums organize visitors and logged-in members into user groups. Privileges and rights are given based on these groups. A user of the forum can automatically be promoted to a more privileged user group based on criteria set by the administrator. A person viewing a closed thread as a member will see a box saying he does not have the right to submit messages there, but a moderator will likely see the same box granting him access to more than just posting messages. An unregistered user of the site is commonly known as a guest or visitor. Guests are typically granted access to all functions that do not require database alterations or breach privacy. A guest can usually view the contents of the forum or use such features as red marking, but occasionally an administrator will disallow visitors to read the forum as an incentive to become a registered member. A person who is a very frequent visitor of the forum, a section or even a thread is referred to as a lurker, and the habit is referred to as lurking. Registered members often will refer to themselves as lurking in a particular location, which is to say they have no intention of participating in that section but enjoy reading the contributions to it. Moderators. The moderators are users of the forum who are granted access to the posts and threads of all members for the purpose of moderating discussion and also keeping the forum clean. Moderators also answer users' concerns about the forum, general questions, as well as respond to specific complaints. Common privileges of moderators include deleting, merging, moving, and splitting of posts and threads, locking, renaming, sticking of threads, banning, suspending, unsuspending, unbanning, warning the members, or adding, editing, removing the polls of threads. Junior modding, backseat modding, or forum copying can refer negatively to the behavior of ordinary users who take a moderator-like tone in criticizing other members. Essentially, it is the duty of the moderator to manage the day-to-day affairs of a forum or board as it applies to the stream of user contributions and interactions. The relative effectiveness of this user management directly impacts the quality of a forum in general, its appeal, and its usefulness as a community of interrelated users. Administrator. The administrators manage the technical details required for running the site. As such, they may promote members to, from moderators, manage the rules, create sections and subsections, as well as perform any database operations. Administrators often also act as moderators. Administrators may also make forum-wide announcements, or change the appearance of a forum. There are also many forums where administrators share the knowledge. A post is a user-submitted message enclosed into a block containing the user's details and the date and time it was submitted. Members are usually allowed to edit or delete their own posts. Posts are contained in threads, where they appear as blocks one after another. The first post starts the thread. This may be called the TS or OP. Posts that follow in the thread are meant to continue discussion about that post, or respond to other replies. It is not uncommon for discussions to be derailed. On Western forums, the classic way to show a member's own details has been on the left side of the post, in a narrow column of fixed width, with the post controls located on the right, at the bottom of the main body, above the signature block. In more recent forum software implementations, the Asian style of displaying the member's details above the post has been copied. Posts have an internal limit usually measured in characters. Often one is required to have a message of minimum length of 10 characters. There is always an upper limit, but it is rarely reached. Most boards have it at either 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, or 50,000 characters. Most forums keep track of a user's post count. The post count is a measurement of how many posts a certain user has made. Users with higher post counts are often considered more reputable than users with lower post counts, but not always. For instance, some forums have disabled post counts with the hopes that doing so will emphasize the quality of information over quantity. A thread is a collection of posts, usually displayed from oldest to latest, although this is typically configurable. Options for newest to oldest and for a threaded view can be available. A thread is defined by title, an additional description that may summarize the intended discussion, and an opening or original post, which opens whatever dialogue or makes whatever announcement the poster wished. A thread can contain any number of posts, including multiple posts from the same members, even if they are one after the other. A thread is contained in a forum, and may have an associated date that is taken as the date of the last post. When a member posts in a thread, it will jump to the top since it is the latest updated thread. Similarly, other threads will jump in front of it when they receive posts. When a member posts in a thread for no reason but to have it go to the top, it is referred to as a bumping. It has been suggested that bump is an acronym of Bring Up My Post. However, this is almost certainly a backronym, and the usage is entirely consistent with the verb bump, which means to knock to a new position. On some message boards, users can choose to sage a post if they wish to make a post, but not bump it. The word sage derives from the two-channel terminology sager, meaning to lower. Sticking threads that are important but rarely receive posts are stickied. A sticky thread will always appear in front of normal threads, often in its own section. A threaded discussion group is simply any group of individuals who use a forum for threaded or asynchronous discussion purposes. The group may or may not be the only users of the forum. A thread's popularity is measured on forums in reply counts. Some forums also track page views. Threads meeting a set number of posts or a set number of views may receive a designation such as hot thread and be displayed with a different icon compared to other threads. This icon may stand out more to emphasize the thread. If the forum's users have lost interest in a particular thread, it becomes a dead thread. Discussion Forums prefer a premise of open and free discussion and often adopt de facto standards. Most common topics on forums include questions, comparisons, polls of opinion as well as debates. It is not uncommon for nonsense or unsocial behavior to sprout as people lose temper, especially if the topic is controversial. Poor understanding of differences in values of the participants is a common problem on forums, because replies to a topic are often worded aimed at someone's point of view. Discussion will usually go slightly off into several directions as people question each other's validity, sources and so on. Circular discussion and ambiguity in replies can extend for several tens of posts of a thread, eventually ending when everyone gives up or attention spans waver and a more interesting subject takes over. It is not uncommon for debate to end in ad hominem attacks. Liabilities of owners and moderators. Several lawsuits have been brought against the forums and moderators claiming libel and damage. A recent case is the Scuba Board lawsuit, where a business in the Maldives filed a suit against Scuba Board for libel and defamation in January 2010. For the most part, though, forum owners and moderators in the United States are protected by Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, which states that a provider or user of an interactive computer service shall be treated as the publisher or speaker of any information provided by another information content provider. Common features. By default, to be an Internet forum, the web application needs an ability to submit threads and replies. Typically, threads are in newer to older view, and replies in older to new view. Trip codes and cap codes. In a trip codes system, a secret password is added to the user's name following a separated character. This password, or trip code, is hashed into a special key, or trip, distinguishable from the name by HTML styles. Trip codes cannot be faked, but on some types of forum software they are insecure and can be guessed. On other types, they can be brute forced with software designed to search for trip codes, such as Trip Code Explorer. Moderators and administrators will frequently assign themselves cap codes, or trip codes, where the guessable trip is replaced with a special notice, or cap. Private message. A private message, or PM for short, is a message sent in private from a member to one or more other members. The ability to send so-called blind carbon copies is sometimes available. When sending a blind carbon copy, the users to whom the message is sent directly will not be aware of the recipients of the blind carbon copy, or even if one was sent in the first place. Private messages are generally used for personal conversations. They can also be used with trip codes. A message is addressed to a public trip and can be picked up by typing in the trip code. Attachment. An attachment can be almost any file. When someone attaches a file to a person's post, they are uploading the file to the forum server. Forums usually have very strict limit on what can be attached and what cannot. Attachments can be part of a thread, social group, etc. BB code. An HTML hypertext markup language is sometimes allowed, but usually its use is discouraged, or when allowed, it is extensively filtered. Modern bulletin board systems often will have it disabled altogether or allow only administrators use it, as allowing it on any normal user level is considered a security risk due to a high rate of XSS vulnerabilities. When HTML is disabled, bulletin board code is the most common preferred alternative. BB code usually consists of a tag, similar to HTML, only instead of an LT and an GT, the tag name is enclosed within square brackets. Commonly is used for italic type, is used for bold, for underline, for color and for lists, as well as for images and for links. The following example BB code. This is clever text. When the post is viewed, the code is rendered to HTML and will appear as "This is clever text." Many forum packages offer a way to create custom BB codes, or BB codes that are not built into the package, where the administrator of the board can create complex BB codes to allow the use of JavaScript or iframe functions in posts. For example, embedding a YouTube or Google video complete with viewer directly into a post. Emoticon. An emoticon, a smiley, is a symbol, a combination of symbols used to convey emotional content in written or message form. Forums implement a system through which some of the text representations of an emoticons are rendered as a small image. Depending on what part of the world the forum's topic originates, smileys can be replaced by other forms of similar graphics. An example would be Kowani *B, or even text between special symbols. Poll. Most forums implement an opinion poll system for threads. Most implementations allow for single-choice or multi-choice when selecting options, as well as private or public display of voters. Polls can be set to expire after a certain date or, in some cases, after a number of days from its creation. Members vote in a poll and a statistic is displayed graphically. RSS-NATM feeds allow a minimalistic means of subscribing to the forum. Common implementations allow RSS feeds to list only the last few threads updated for the forum index and the last posts in a thread. Other features. An ignore list allows members to hide posts of other members that they do not want to see or have a problem with. In most implementations, they are referred to as faux list or ignore list. Usually the posts are not hidden, but minimized with only a small bar indicating a post from the user on the ignore list is there. Almost all internet forums include a member list, which allows display of all forum members, with integrated search feature. Some forums will not list members with 0 posts, even if they have activated their accounts. Many forums allow users to give themselves an avatar. An avatar is an image that appears beside all of a user's posts, in order to make the user more recognizable. The user may upload the image to the forum database, or may provide a link to an image on a separate website. Each forum has limits on the height, width, and data size of avatars that may be used. If the user tries to use an avatar that is too big, it may be scaled down or rejected. Similarly, most forums allow users to define a signature, which is a block of text, possibly with BB code, which appears at the bottom of all of the user's posts. There is a character limit on signatures, though it may be so high that it is rarely hit. Often the forum's moderators impose manual rules on signatures to prevent them from being obnoxious, and issue warnings or bans to users who break these rules. Like avatars, signatures may improve the recognizability of a poster. They may also allow the user to attach information to all of the posts, such as proclaiming support for a cause, noting facts about themselves, or quoting humorous things that have previously been said on the forum. Common on forums, where subscription is a form of automated notification integrated into the software of most forums. It usually notifies either by email or on the site when the member returns. The option to subscribe is available for every thread while logged in. Subscriptions work with read marking, namely the property of unread, which is given to the content never served to the user by the software. Recent development in some popular implementations of forum software has brought social network features and functionality. Such features include personal galleries, pages, as well as a social network like chat systems. Most forum software is now fully customizable. compatible with hacks or modifications readily available to customize a person's forum to theirs and their members' needs. Often forums use cookies or information about the user's behavior on the site sent to a user's browser and used upon re-entry into the site. This is done to facilitate automatic login and to show a user whether a thread or forum has received new posts since his or her last visit. These may be disabled or cleared at any time.